Hi there, and welcome to this week's angel reading. I'm Rachel Scoltock. I've got some angel inspiration for you this week from the Archangel Power Tarot deck, but also I've already pulled the cards and done take one, so this is take two. But also, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the angel's message and what I wanted my message to be this week. So before we start, I just want to point out I've got these beautiful lilies with me, and they are the representation of Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel is one of my most favorite archangels to work with. And we're going to do a little archangel healing a little bit later on. So hold on, because this is a healing for you to release anything that's been weighing you down, making you feel heavy, emotional, stressed. And some of the reason that you might have been feeling this way could be that we are in a Mercury retrograde, which is putting a lot of pressure on. And really, in some ways, you know, as all of these transitions do, they're trying to make us look at things and help us recognize what needs to go, what ideas, what beliefs we're holding, as well as maybe outside life situations that need to change so that we can find that place of happiness and peace. But also the holiday season, you know, that can bring up a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of emotion in people. You might be missing loved ones. You might be feeling the financial pressures. There's all sorts of reasons why people feel a bit yuck around this time of year. And your angels want you to know that they are with you and they are right there beside you should you wish to call on them for help. They'll never force their help on you, but they're sending you love. You know, they're helping you. They're slowly trying to remove some of that heavy energy around you so that you can feel the light again. But they can't intervene unless you help them. And you do have angels, no matter where you've been, what you've been through, what is happening right now in your life, whatever you've done in your life, you have angels. And you can call upon them. You can make that decision to call upon them at any moment. One of the reasons that calling on angels and God helps is because you start to recognize, okay, I'm tired of listening to the fear mind. You know, it's almost like a radio station. It's not you. It's like there is a frequency in the planet which is broadcasting this negative news all the time. You know, it's like, you know, you're not good enough. You'll never achieve what you want. Look at all the mistakes you've made. Nobody loves you. All of those things. It's like it's constantly going on this radio frequency. And whenever you go into fear or doubt or shame or blame or anything like that, that radio station gets really loud in your head and you start believing it. But if you listen closely, if you really step back from it and recognize, hang on a minute, this isn't me. It's not telling you that you are those things. You can sort of accept that. You can say, oh, I'm just going to tell myself a story that this is all true. But it's actually telling you what you're afraid of. And so you can at any moment turn that around and choose a different way of thinking. And easier said than done, right? When you're in that moment, you know, you wouldn't be thinking it if you thought you had a choice. And if you were in your power, you won't necessarily feel like you've got a choice, because that's part of the theme of this radio program, this broadcast that you're picking up on, is that you don't have any power. You're stuck, you're trapped, you can't get out of it. You've made too many mistakes, you're too old, you're too young, whatever. So the tuning into the angels, actually even just calling on the angels, calling on God or Jesus, whoever you talk to in the divine realm, will help you to remember on some level that there is another broadcast going and it's better and it's going to help you. So you stop thinking with your fear mind and you start to be open to thinking with the divine mind, which is divine wisdom, intelligence, power. It's empowering. It's bringing you back to centeredness. So it's a little bit like being in a nightmare when you feel like that. The other thing that I really wanted to talk about this week before I get on to the reading is that one of the most important things that you can do and be is kind. And I really think that that's what Christmas is supposed to be about. I think deep down underneath all of the many layers of what Christmas has become is that it's about giving and generosity and kindness and connection to the divine, of course, remembering who you really are. And I think at core, humans feel their best when they are compassionate and kind and peaceful, not only to others, but also to themselves. So I had a little thing happen to me yesterday, which reminded me of this, and I'll share it with you, is that I went to a cafe that I don't often go to in order to have breakfast. Now, I often go out on my own for meals and whatnot, and I don't have a problem with that. I've been doing it for 20 years, so it doesn't worry me at all. I went to this little cafe, and it just so happened that they were stressed. They had a big booking coming in, and so they were fairly dismissive of my being there and weren't impressed that I wanted their attention in order to order food or whatever. And so I was treated accordingly. I was treated a little bit dismissively, and given all the reasons in the world as to why that would happen. And I sort of accepted it, and yet I felt pain in my heart. I felt a little bit about it all. Anyway, later on, I got over it. Later on, I went, I did a little bit of shopping, and then I went to another cafe that I go to quite regularly, and I was met with a big smile, and I was, fed and watered, and there were some people sitting on the table next to me, and I was just reading and not really paying attention, but they called out to me to admire something that I was wearing. And we ended up having this really in-depth conversation really quickly. You know how when you connect with people who are like-minded, that how quickly you can go from normal small talk to spiritual. It's just amazing. It never fails to impress me. So this beautiful couple radiated love and kindness. And that what they talked about was some difficult, quite deep subjects, but all the time there was love and kindness. And I could feel the heaviness in my own heart, dissipating and lifting as I connected to these beautiful people. And that, generosity, kindness, love, and everything that they spoke about, even though we covered a lot of subjects in a short time, and we talked about some really painful things that were going on for them. And I walked away from that interaction recognizing that all the other stuff that we have, the material stuff and the worry and the fear and all the rest of it is all part of life, and we have to accept that. But doesn't kindness make everything better? Doesn't kindness, no matter what you're going through at any time, and yes, sometimes it's harder to be kind when you're going through something because you feel deprived yourself. So therefore, how can I give to another person when I feel deprived? But it's just an illusion of the ego sort of conning you. I try to be kind as often as I can, and I don't even think about it. I just assume that people want to say hello when I go past them, and not everybody does. And we have to remember that not everyone is perfect. And not everyone has got something to offer in that moment. And we have to not take that personally, right? But we also have to remember that we should be kind anyway. I think too many people feel angered, disappointed, afraid by what has happened to them in life. And when they've given and it hasn't been appreciated, or the kindness hasn't been returned. And so it's almost human in a way to shut down that kindness and go, right, I'm just not going to be nice to people anymore. When in actual fact, the kindness keeps your heart open, and it actually generates a different kind of energy. And every now and then you will meet people that do see and appreciate your kindness and do want to give back to you. But that's not why we do it, right? We don't do it in order to get something back. We do it because it's a natural part of who we are. And so I think that ultimately Christmas is about kindness. And I think that kindness needs to be the ultimate of what we give to everybody, no matter what we buy them or we don't buy them. And that's what I'm asking of you, is I'm making a suggestion that you think about how you can be kinder to those you love, but also those that you don't know, because a smile at a stranger can make a huge difference, especially if they've already smiled at you. Judgment and suspicion and all of that kind of stuff has closed off people's hearts, and I think the world needs more love and kindness right now. So I'll get off my soapbox and I'll go back to talking about the angels and the lilies, which is the Archangel Gabriel's symbol, and calling in the 4 archangels. So I always call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, and by fly, Archangel Uriel. And all 4 of those angels are going to help us today with a healing. So before we get started, I'm going to give you the 3 cards, and you're going to love them. So these are the 3 cards. So for today's card, you might not see that in the light, is the 4 of Raphael, and it's a healing card. It's letting you know that at the moment is a good time for you to consider other possibilities in your life, to think about the things that you want to bring into your life. Sometimes when you have a very emotional time of it, when you're not feeling that great, it's actually because your soul wants to grow. That's what your soul does. It's about expansion. It's about growing. And so when you feel stuck, you feel trapped, or you feel like you're not growing, you feel like something isn't right, you automatically have a reaction to that. And so whilst this card is saying be aware of your own emotions and be aware of the energy that you're bringing. So sometimes an emotion is a mixture of a thought and a feeling that gets out of hand. So, something happens and then you tell yourself a negative story about it, and then you end up in a big hole. But what this is saying is there are possibilities around you. There are changes that you need to look at making in your life, maybe internal, some external, where you can start to look at those options, but you need to clear the emotion first. So the emotion is what ends up in our energy field. So it can be like a big black lump of coal, or it can be a little puff of grey smoke. But that energy actually starts to weigh you down and bring you down. Other people's emotions, their negative thoughts combined with their negative feelings, can bring us down also. That energy can pass between people, and you can feel that in your energy field. So the angels are going to help you to release that. But it's really a flag saying, you do have the power over what you think and feel. And whilst you might be reacting to things, you have to be aware of those reactions and what your thoughts are around them. So it's really putting the responsibility back on you. The second card is the 8 of Michael. I love this card so much for our reading today. Look at how the girl or the lady in the card has let herself out of the gates. So it's like saying, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling trapped, you're feeling like something is limiting you at the moment. So is it your age? Is it your health? Is it your circumstances, your finances, your relationship, your location? Whatever it is, you hold the keys to letting yourself out. So Archangel Michael has just guided this person out from the locked gates, and it's like, oh, I'm free. You can be free. You have to make the choice, and you have to recognize that this is a world of infinite possibilities, not limitation. The illusion, that radio station tells us we're limited. What's really going on is that you're not limited, and maybe that's the challenge. Maybe that's what we've all got to see. We've got to keep remembering that we hold the power. We have the power, and not only do we have the power, we're connected to the greatest power there is, the Creator. We're connected to that power, and that power combined with your intentions and your ability to look and see for possibilities and to stop looking at all the negative stuff. It's happened. It's out there, all right. There's plenty of it around. If we want to go looking for it, we could probably we could make a collection. But that's not really what we're here to do. We're not here to list all of the negative things. Caroline Mace, she says it like, so what? She's a tough, broad, a spiritual teacher, but she's been around long enough to recognize everyone's got a story, everyone's got a pain, everyone's got a suffering, everyone's got a loss, everyone's got a grief, everyone's got a broken heart. We've all got those things. And we can either sit and suffer with them and let them turn us into stone, cold heart, hate everything, hate everyone, feel like life has stuffed us, or we can change that around and make a new decision and decide to let it shape us and to help us become more wise and help it to open us and make new decisions. So this is saying you've got the keys to the prison that you're living in at the moment, and you have the power to unlock it, and the angels are there, right there next to you, waiting to help you. They want to help you, so give them your instructions. They can't do it for you. Don't sit there and go, okay, get me out of here, and then don't do anything. You have to take action. It's a co-creation. You work as a team with your angels, with the universe, with God. It's not like Santa. As much as we want it to be like Santa, it's not like Santa. We've got to get ourselves to that vibration. And look at this. Again, another card. All of these cards are about you having the power this week. I love it. It's number 1, the Magician. You have the power to create the life that you want to create. You have the ability. You've got everything you need right now. Let's remember our gratitude. You've been given everything you need to manifest the life that you want. So if you're comparing yourself with someone else, they have it, I don't. Why don't I have it? It's not a story of limitation. It's a story of that person might have it. I wonder how they did it, because I can do it too. So you can successfully manifest the life of your dreams. I think manifestation has become this thing of like magically thinking, and the thing will appear. The thinking is our daily work. The thinking is about lifting ourselves out of that hole and keeping ourselves out of that hole. And the thinking is, of course, we need the ideas. We want to know what it is that we want. That's easy. That's up there already. And if you don't know what you want, maybe you've got to do a bit of research. You've got to get out into the world and see some things that you like. But once you've done the research and you know what it is that you want, then you have to think, what path do I take in order to create that? And, there may be a lot of work to do, and then again, there may not be. It might be really obvious, like, oh, it's going to cost me $5,000. How do I get the $5,000? Oh, well, I've got 3. What do I do to get the other 2? It's what do you do? And it's not always about money, but it's what do you do, and what can they do to help you? And they'll start to open the doors as you start to get your power back. You need your power to manifest. You need your power to connect to the angels. You need your power. And what the sad story is that most of us don't feel like we've got any. And so as a healer, I help you remember your power. I help you to find it again. I help you to get it back from wherever you left it or whoever took it from you. So let's call on the angels. So ask for an invite, the presence of Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, Archangel Gabriel. Thank you, Gabriel, for being here with us. And Archangel Uriel. Thank you, angels, for surrounding everybody here who is watching and listening. And please help us to release the fear, the illusion of powerlessness, the illusion of limitation, the illusion of pain and suffering and struggle and loss. Please pull from us any energies that are holding us back in any way, shape or form. Please remove from us the energy of emotion that is holding us down, and remind us to think in the way that we want to create rather than in negative or backward ways. And angels, we ask that you remove from us any illusions and fears that maybe have not come from us, that maybe have come from others, and we have just adopted them, absorbed them, been projected on from them. We ask that you detune us from the frequency of fear and you attune us to the frequency of love. So as you are breathing deeply and connecting into these angels that surround you, I want you to imagine that you're breathing out any suffering and pain and emotion that you have been feeling recently. And imagine for a moment if you knew where that pain and suffering was sitting in your body, and you might even feel it because emotion can feel physical sometimes, right? Is it on your heart? Is it in your head? Is it in your shoulders and neck? Is it in your stomach? Where is it? And it might be in all of those places. And just breathe, and imagine as you breathe that you're breathing it out. So Archangel Uriel is standing in front of you holding what looks like Santa's sack, but it's empty. And as you breathe, those big blocks of energy, they might be like big lumps of rock. They could be like chunks of coal or mist or smoke. They're just coming out of you, being lifted by the angels and going into that bag. So as you breathe, release and imagine all of the heaviness and the emotion. And Archangel Uriel, Archangel Michael and Raphael, thank you so much for helping us. Please can you remove from us any energy that is within us that we're now ready to let go of. And also remove any energy from around us that we may not even know is there, that may have come from other people, situations, any energies that we just are not aware of, but they've been limiting and painful in any way, shape or form. So just breathe and allow this to happen. There's a lot of light and love around you at the moment. Can you feel the space being created around you? And Archangel Michael is moving with his sword. He's like a ninja. He's chopping around you. He's removing the cords. And some cords he's showing me, they look like anchors, you know, like a rope with an anchor on the end. It's sticking you into where you are right now, keeping you stuck. So some of those cords are your own thoughts. Some of them are the belief that you are stuck. Some of them maybe just old agreements and contracts that you've dug into and you're not even aware of there. So breathe and releasing any cords. This will really help if you're trying to sell a business or a home, or you're trying to move and nothing seems to be happening. Wow, okay, that's a lot of energy. And cutting cords to anything or anyone that's draining your energy. You know, when you tune into those certain people, they're a certain vibration, and that vibration just pulls you down the minute that you think about them. So, and sometimes when they think about you. So you're not a helpless victim. You're a powerful being of light. So breathe and ask Archangel Michael to cut those cords to those people. If it still hurts you, you're corded to it. If it still bothers you, it still makes you angry, still makes you cross, you're corded to it. There's an energy cord between you. If you couldn't care less if they go past you and you're just like, oh, whatever, like seeing anyone else that you know or you don't know, then you're not corded to them anymore. If there's a trigger. So just breathe those and ask Archangel Michael, once and for all, I'm ready to cut the cord with this person and situation. Getting me out of that moment, that time and place where I got stuck in suffering. And then put your hand over your heart and just imagine your beautiful spiritual heart glowing. Beautiful golden light. And with every breath, make that golden light bigger. And Archangel Uriel is tying up the bag, and he's taking the cords and all of that heaviness out, up into the light, away from you, away from your office, your home. And Archangel Raphael is here, and he's got his hands over the top of your head, and he's just really giving you a huge healing. His golden green light is just filling all those spaces where there were cords, where that energy had to be released. And thank you, Archangel Raphael. You'll feel his sweet, loving energy along with this divine love. And just with my spirit, I'm willing to allow myself to receive this divine love into my heart, my spirit, my body, my mind. I'm willing to tune into the energy of divine love. Help me to think with the thoughts of love rather than the thoughts of fear. Let me put myself, my life, and all of my projects in the hands of the divine, and let everything be under divine law rather than fear and karmic law. Let me declare my life and my business and my health and every relationship a success. And let everything that is limiting me or holding me back or is ready to go, that is not serving me, that I am holding on to for some other reason, let it go. Let me let it go to be replaced with happiness. And feel that beautiful golden light growing in your chest and just expanding out from you. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Gabriel. And if there's something that you need guidance on, then ask the 4 archangels, especially Archangel Gabriel, who can communicate your needs to heaven and bring you back the guidance that you want. I'm ready for change. Please show me the way. And so it is. Amen. And by the way, pay attention to anything that happens now. If someone gives you a book or clicks you onto a blog or, says something significant, you might even overhear something significant that's meaningful for you, don't dismiss it because it's guidance. From my heart to yours, angel blessings. Thank you. I appreciate your comments. Please comment when you watch this. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Mwah.